Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Whenever we talk about Hindu religion, there are some sects called Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Shaktism, etc. Even Buddhism, Jainism, etc. When it come about Vaishnavism, the people worship Lord Vishnu are called Vaishnavites. Who are worshipping Lord Shiva is called Shaivites. The people who are worshipping Shakti, mean goddess called, or goddess Parvati called Shakteyas. Buddha's followers, Buddhists. Jaina followers, Jains. Sikhs, like that. But here, when we come across Shaivism, it is one of the ancient sect in India from beginning of the era. That means from Indus Valley civilization onwards, it was spread over every nook and corner of the universe. The people who worship Shiva gets blessings of him so easily. Because Lord Shiva himself is called Bola Shankara. If he pleases, simply he gives the boons whatever the devotee asks, without any second thought. That is why he is called Bola Shankara. He will give whatever he wants, whatever the devotee wants, without minding the pros and cons. Sometimes he got troubles while giving boon to Bhasmasura. He himself wanted to put his hand on Shiva, Ravana, like that. He faced so many hurdles. Shiva is an example of uniqueness, simplicity. Wherever we see the idol of Shiva will be in the posture of meditation. People unnecessarily used to differentiate between Shiva and Keshava. That is 100% wrong. He who does that will get hell, will go to hell. Therefore, one should not differentiate from Shiva to Keshava. Shiva's heart is Vishnu, Vishnu's heart is Shiva. That is the philosophy of Shaivism. That is the heart of Lord Shiva. Shiva is a practical emblem to the humankind, especially for the new married couple should seek the blessings of Lord Shiva and Parvati, because he is called Ardhanarishwara, gave half of the part to his consort, means wife. Wherever we see God Shiva is worshipped by the Shaivites by chanting Rudra, Namaka, Chamaka, etc. Mahanyasa Purvaka Abhishekas are done for him. Whenever every month there comes Shivaratri, Masa Shivaratri, yearly once come Shivaratri. People used to wake up full night for watching Abhishekam of Lord Shiva and Shiva Parvati Kalyanam and seeking the blessings of Lord Shiva, who confers all the boons of the required by devotees. In such a way, Shaiva devotees worship Lord Shiva in the form of Lingakara. Ekamukhalinga, Panchamukhalinga, like that, so many differentiations are there in Shaivism. We people know a little bit about Shaivism. Even Shaivists do not know in detail the description of Lord Shiva and his manifestation and his glory, etc. If we know thoroughly about his glory, magnanimity, definitely, wholeheartedly we worship Lord Shiva without any second thought. Shiva's blessings are needed. The name is Shiva is symbol of auspiciousness. That's why today I took this topic of the essence of Shaivism to impart the knowledge of the Shiva devotees, Shaiva sect. Let us go in detail before the prayer. Tridallam Triguණakaram Trinetram cha Triyayudham Trijanma Papa Samharam Ekabilvam Shivarpanam. Shaivism is one of the most prominent belief systems within the religion milieu of Indian society, staying true to the tradition within Hinduism of being hard to fathom as one belief system. Shaivism reflects the branching out of sectarian ideas and also those about Shiva himself into various cults and schools of thought. Scholars seem to always adopt externalist approaches to Hindu traditions. The reason for the existence of the term Hinduism is probably this approach. The same treatment of Shaivism would be unjustified. This is so because the very essence of the tradition is built upon dualities. This paper will attempt to elucidate these dualities as it progresses. At the same time, it will attempt to illustrate the development of Shiva as a deity and Shaivism as a tradition. We know about Shiva through various sources, beginning with the Vedas themselves. Shiva being a major god and his preserve in scriptures or presence in scriptures right from the Vedas and the Brahmanas to the Upanishads and Puranas dedicated to him and is the main subject matter of Tantras. To a modern day scholar, much of this literature is available. However, ascribing a date to them is a dubious task. Alongside, Patanjali's Mahabhashya is a key work due to its references to Shiva and Shaivism in this context. To study the different Shaiva sects and forms of worship, the Puranas and Jantras will be referred. The Puranas depict a time in which Shiva had become an important deity and thus are pivotal in this context. These are the Puranas dedicated to Shiva, Shivalinga, etc. are both Tajjas and Shaiva Puranas. Additionally, Padma Purana and Vama Purana, Rauravottara, Linga worship myth will be sought. Finally, Swachanda Bhairava and Netra Tantric. Bhairava Tantras and Pashupata Sutra are all texts belonging to various sects and will be mentioned in this study. Rudra Shiva deity. We can analyze the development of Rudra Shiva's character from early Vedic times to later Puranic and Tantric time. This is especially complex task as the character and worship of Shiva has undergone centuries of transformation during which some aspects have eroded and others augmented. Though distant from exhaustive or comprehensive, the section will attempt to encompass those aspects secondary sources for which are readily available. The overarching purpose of this section is to unveil links that will culminate in a cohesive understanding of Shiva's character and the interpretation of iconographic features associated with the idols of worship. Shiva through the ages. Let us get the detail. There is a theory that Shiva and Durga made their way into the Hindu pantheon when the Aryans made their way from Asia Minor to India. The theory could be summarized as being based on a rock-cut sanctuary in Yazilikaya in Turkey, dated to the 13th century BC, centered on a god and goddess, seemingly a couple, who share the same vehicle with Shiva and Durga, namely the bull and a lioness. Additionally, they are associated with the mountains and have a son who is the god of war and stands on a lion like Kartikeya. In the Vedas, Rudra is represented as discharging brilliant shafts which run about the heaven and the earth, and as a possessing weapons which slay cows and men. Rudra is prayed is not to afflict children with disease and to keep all in the village free from illness. Rudra was thus believed to cause diseases and at the same time cure them, as his prowess in medicine is unmatched. He hurls lightning bolts and is the leader of a group of warriors named Maruts, who are also offered reward. These aspects, Rudra's infant essence, illustrate his ferocious nature, but also portray him as a powerful and capable of divine healing. This character of Rudra is developed more in Shatarudriya. His Sivatanu is distinguished from its opposite, the malignant. Epithets of Lord Shiva, the fields of Girisha, living on mountain, and Pasupati, and further develop this character. Just like these epithets in the Vedic texts of the earlier strata, the word Shiva used an epithet in the sense of auspicious for various reasons, various deities, and not only for Rudra. The Sankhayana and other Brahmanas use names such as Rudra, Shiva, Mahadeva, and Isana. However, the first definitive link between Rudra and Shiva is found in the Shvetashvetara Upanishad, that Shiva is used several times as a name of Rudra in that Upanishad. Rudra is a god to whom animals are sacrificed. The medicinal herbs of Rudra are described as Shiva. Also, while a famous hymn in Drugveda mentions the 100 names of Rudra, mean Shatarudriya. The Mahabharata mentions 1000 names of Shiva, Rudra being one of them. This phenomenon of both Shiva and Rudra being epithets for each other at different times dispels any doubts as to the link between the two. In the Puranic period, the identification of Rudra with Shiva is hardly under contemplation. The same can be said about Shiva's prominence during the period the Siddhanta and non-Siddhanta traditionalizes project opposing concept of dualism and monoism onto Shiva's character. The Siddhanta view Shiva as numerically distinct supreme being in mild form of Sadashiva, which is in a sense of subsidiary of Mahasadashiva. On the other hand, the non-Siddhantikas adopt a monistic approach and appears Shiva to be the pure consciousness that is identical with the universe. The journey of the dialectic Rudra in the Vedas and to an extent the Puranas to the variegated and abstract Shiva is one that can be organized into teleological structure, beginning with the ferocious Rudra, who was at the same time also a healer in the Vedas. The first transition is into the possessor of multitude of epithets by the time of Upanishads, where a definitive link between Rudra and Shiva. The auspicious can be drawn Rudra Shiva, then acquires the status of the supreme creator and becomes Shiva of the Puranas and consequently spawns the first Saivite cults. It is at this stage that the duality in his character that had been reconciled by incorporating Shiva as an epithet of Rudra, epithet means a title, in the earlier texts, inverts itself, and it is Shiva who emerges as the entity embodying Rudra in the earlier texts, inverts itself, and it is Shiva who emerges as the entity embodying Rudra among many other epithets. The final step is the abstraction of Shiva into concepts like Mahasadashiva and Supreme, entities like Netranath. In this way, the teleological progression transitions from simplicity to complexity. Let us get some details through iconography, means Shashanal. A present day archaeologist or iconographers would identify Shiva through his essential or most common symbols or objects. Staff means representing death, shield representing dharma, Trishula, the three gunas, matted hair, digit of the moon, divinity, Nandi the bull, dharma and fertility. However, this generalized association of Shiva with his objects in a way undermines the array of forms that the deity can embody. One of the most intriguing aspects about Shiva is this vivid and multifaceted personality that he is. The systematic and deliberate representation of Shiva in his different forms is numerous temples, caves, and scriptural descriptions culminate in a meticulous archive under the purview of iconographic deduction and hopefully culminate in a vivid exposition of the forms associated with worship of Lord Shiva. There are several subforms illustrated in sculptures which depict Shiva performing two common functions. They are Anugraha and another is Samgraha. What is the meaning of Anugraha? Conferring grace. Samhara, enraged or inflicting violence. Some of the forms are as follows. Let us get the detailed forms of Lord Shiva. First one, Anugraha mean Chandesh Anugraha, Vishnu Anugraha, Nandish Anugraha, Vigneshwara Anugraha, Kiratarjuna Anugraha, and Ravana Anugraha. The prefix in each of these names refers to the recipients of Shiva's grace in various myths. Samhara. Ardha Andakasura Vadha, Gajasura Vadha, Kalari Vadha, Tripurantaka Vadha, Bhairavi Vadha, Virabhadra Vadha, and Kamantaka Vadha. The prefix in each of these names refers to the subject of Shiva's violent rage. However, Sharvesh, Bhairava, the form of Shiva assumed while temporarily saying Brahma, and Virabhadra are exceptions to this Homen culture. In Anugraha form, Shiva is usually seen in a paciful disposition with at least one of his hands in Abhaya or Varadahasta. Abhaya means giving protection. Abhaya Varada means boon giving. Mudras, while his devotees then assume the Anjali means salutation. Mudra. While in the Samhara forms, the iconography in the inverted to the opposite and of the spectrum. Shiva's hair is depicted as fluttering and his facial expressions assume an enraged, almost demonic disposition. The mudra associated with the three forms of Tyagaraju, we can understand the essence of Lord Shiva. There is no mudra at all because of multiple weapons being carried out for the forthcoming purpose in hands. These have proven to be the most common identifiers of these forms. Apart from the forms based on the two functions described above, there are numerous separations are made to illustrate other aspects of his character. The following list enlists the same following or same along with the corresponding myth and important iconographic features. Gangadhara Murti. Let us see, he is one of the form. This Murti pertains to the myth in which Shiva receives Ganga in his Jata Juta. In the corresponding iconographic representation, Shiva has four hands. Right back hand, which holds a bottle axe, is seen untouching the Jata that receives Jnana, Ardhanarishwara. This half-made, half-female form assumed by Shiva in an attempt to explain the duality of generation principles required to procreate when Brahman fails to realize it himself. The representation itself involves a vertical demarcation of male, mean right Shiva, and female, left Ardhanarishwara, Parvati, always. The male half has a half third eye. On the face, forehead is two eyes. A tilaka can be adorned on the forehead. Now, Nritta Murtis mean Nritta Natarajas. Chidambaram we can see Lord Shiva's Natarajam still. These representations depict Shiva dancing. The most famous form of Mithila or Nritta Murti is the Nataraja, in which Shiva forearms and front left hand is Gajahasta Mudra, back one carries Agni, the front right hand is Abhaya Mudra, and back one is holding a Damaru. The right leg is depicted as on the back of distinguishing creature, symbol of ignorance. Apasmara Purusha, and left alone, one is lifted up and his anchors are across the right. The left half of one side around the whole figure. There is strong symbolism associated with the elements of Nataraja. The drawn or Damaru symbolizes the sound or music creation, the fire destructive Abhaya Mudra, protection or preservation, left foot, salvation, and the free surroundings. Shiva symbolizes the cycle of transmigration or the sound Om. On the whole, Nataraja symbolizes the dance of destruction. Along with this, we can see, especially in such a places where Lord Shiva's blessings are fully available. Other Nritta Murti sub-forms are Udruta, Tandava, and Lalata Tilakam. Now, Mahayogi. How Lord Krishna became Mahayogi. Kalyana Sundara Murti. This Murti depicts the marriage of Shiva and Parvati, wherein Shiva is on the left and Parvati is on the right. Pre-marriage. The reversal of positions indicates the contemplation of marriage ceremony. Ithiphallic Shiva. The ithiphallic Shiva depicts him with an erect phallus. Identification becomes simple as Shiva is the only Hindu god who is depicted nude. Linga worship. The Linga is regarded as the highest undifferentiated, Nishkala, form of Shiva in contrast to the anthropomorphic form which is differentiated, Shakala. The myth most often associated with the Linga's power is the one that entails a debate between Brahma and Vishnu, aimed at determining the supreme deity. Mid-debate, a massive pillar emerges which seems to continue without cessation and challenged both the deities to discover the ends of this pillar. Brahma and Vishnu assumed zoomorphic forms, and one headed to the top and the other to the bottom, but neither could find a summit. Shiva emerged, thus proclaimed superiority, and the Linga, as the incessant pillar, became a symbol of supreme power. However, the earliest possible reference to Linga worship is in the Rig Veda, wherein a deity named Srishna Deva, a phallic deity, is mentioned. However, there is also an attitude of irreverence associated with Linga worship in the Rig Veda. The Puranas, on the other hand, offer explanations to why Shiva is worshipped in Linga forms, possibly alluding to a tradition of Linga worship already in place. The Padma Purana contains the story of the curse of sage Bhrigu, who upon his arrival in Shiva Loka was kept waiting by Shiva as he was otherwise occupied in his private quarters with Parvati. There are different kinds of linga for different kinds of temple, and an elaborate typology is offered in texts like the Rauravottara. Below is a rudimentary list of a few important lingas. Ekamukha linga. This type of linga is depicted with the face of Shiva on it. An old example of Ekamukha linga is one from 4th century AD in Udayagiri. More recent and popular example of this type are Somanath, Gujarat, and Omkareshwar, Jyotirlingas. Panchamukha lingam. This type of linga depicts 5 aspects of Shiva, with 4 Shivas facing the 4 directions and another one thought to be at the core of facing up. The 5 Shivas may be faces or whole human figures. The 5 aspects depicted Tatpurusha, depicting Shiva as the original creator. Aghora, south side. Depicting the wrathful and destructive aspect of Shiva. Sadyojata, west side. The majestic and creative aspect, Vamadeva, north. The gentle and howling aspect, and finally Ishana, depicting the divinity of Shiva as the eternal ruler. Now Sahasralinga. This type is unique in that it depicts Shiva through momentous small lingas on top of a big one. There is also a special pilgrimage in Karnataka where there are several lingas carved on rocks in the Shalmala river. Chalalingam. Chalalingam refers to a movable linga as opposed to an Achalalinga. These are portable and are usually made of clay, precious stones, wood, metal or stone. They are mostly used for home worship. Achalalinga. These lingas are immovable and are found in nature. The famous Swayambhu Linga is a type of Achalalinga. The most famous example of this is the Amarnath Linga in Kashmir. Lingodbhava Linga. This linga depicts Shiva emerging from a linga and makes a direct reference to a famous myth in which Shiva asserts his superiority over Brahma and Krishna nearly by taking the form of an insurmountable, incessant linga. There are other references to Shiva emerging from lingas as well as seen in the myth of Markandeya. The lingas embody the essence of Shiva while at the same time offering a unique form of worship which is much conducive for personal worship, as is exemplified by the Chalalingas. Thus, various lingas are worshipped by the devotees to get the blessings of Lord Shiva. So, may Lord Shiva shower his choicest blessing on all of us. Shekanta Kalyana Nidhi Nidhi Dhram Sri Venkatramasa Srinivasa Mangalam Mangala Sastra Premadacharya Prabhamayi Sarvesha Purvairacharya Satkrutanyastu Mangalam.